Hey there, in this video I'm going to show you how you can import a Zapier template into your account and then also how to do the same for make.com blueprint. The process will just take a few steps, so follow along. For the purposes of this example, I will be using a previous post that we did on our school.com community, legal tech community. Feel free to join at the link down below or in my bio. And I'll first show the process for Zapier, and then if you skip along in the video, I will do the same for make.com. So the Zapier templates require a bit more work to set up, but they come in a URL format, in a link format. So let's simply click this shared link over here. We'll have some basic information about the template, such as its name, who it was created by, and a description. And then if you click try the Zap, it will create a new Zap inside of your account. Obviously here, make sure that you have already signed up for Zapier. Both Zapier and make.com have free versions, so you can get started with that. And it will create a new Zap under your account in draft status. As you can see, all the actions from the template have been created over here. What we'll need to do now is make sure that all of them are connected and properly set up as well. So for each one of them, as we can see, there is a warning sign over here in the beginning. So to solve that, click onto the action, then make sure that you select an account over here for authentication. If you haven't yet connected that app previously, right? So for example, Clio Manage, I haven't connected Clio Manage in any of my previous apps, then you'll need to authenticate it again. Otherwise, it will already be pre-filled. And then you can obviously create a new connection over here or use an existing one as well. So then just click continue. It will ask you to test the trigger or the step. So just click that. And then, for example, continue with selected record. Go on to the next action. Again, make sure that the account is filled. If you haven't authenticated, then do authenticate the connection. Click continue. And then here you'll need to do some additional setup following whatever tutorial you saw about the template. So for example, in this case, we are creating a folder whenever a new matter is created. So we'll need to choose the drive in which we want that folder to be created and also the folder name, right? So for example, for the folder name, let's use, for example, our client name coming from Clio Manage. Click continue, and then here you can either test the step to see if it works or simply skip the test. Move on to the next action. Again, it's a Clio Manage. In this case, what we should do is simply update our matter with the folder ID. So let's choose the matter. It will be a dynamic field, the ID coming from step number 1. And then we will also update. And then we will populate the Google Drive folder ID into one of the custom fields, Google Drive folder ID with the ID coming from the previous step. Again, click continue, skip test. And once you have completed all the steps, as you will see, they're now shown with this green check mark over here, and then you can click publish. Fantastic, Zap published, and it is now live. Fantastic. The Zap is now live on your account, and in this case, whenever a new matter now is opened, this scenario will run. Again, a bit more setup on the Zapier side of things. Let's now pass on to Make and see how that works with that platform. The make.com templates or blueprints work a bit differently. They'll come in a file format with a JSON extension. And so, for example, we have a template attached over here to one of the posts. Let's open it up. No preview available, just click download. It will download it to your computer, right? You can locate it in your Finder over here. And then what you need to do is you need to head over to Make. Again, create an account if you don't already have one. Go into scenarios, click create a new scenario. And then here, down below, you'll have these 3 dots. So click that, and then import blueprint. Choose the file that you have just downloaded. Downloads, click open, save. And as you can see, all the modules are automatically as well populated over here. What you then need to do is, again, as we did with Zapier, you need to go through each one of these modules and make sure that the connection is set up properly. However, you will not need to actually change the setup of any of these steps like we did with Zapier, and so that is a bit more straightforward. So come into here, for example, for the Clio Manage, right? We haven't yet created a webhook for whenever a new matter is created, so we'll need to create a new one. We have also not previously connected Clio Manage at all to this account, so let's do that. Let's choose US. All right, so the connection has been created. And we can now create this webhook, in this case, whenever a new matter is created. Just click Save, click OK, and as you can see, that warning disappears. Let's do the same now for the other modules, right? So for, again, Clio Manage, we can just reuse then this connection that we've just created. And again, as you can see, all the values of the setup are already pre-filled, unlike Zapier. Google Drive, again, then just reuse a connection you already have or create a new one. Repeat this for all the steps. Obviously, with things like, for example, folders, you may want to change up the structure of them, right? So do make those adjustments if needed. And again, just authenticate all of these over here. And the last one. Fantastic. The routers don't need an additional setup, so that's all good. Make sure that you save the scenario once you've done that. And then now you can turn it on. You can schedule as well, if it will run immediately upon the data arrives or on a scheduled basis. So just click it on, mark it as turned on. And then in the run scenario, again, you can choose how often you want to run it. In this case, let's choose immediately, click OK. And our scenario is now running. As you can see, it's turned on. Whenever a new matter is created in Clio Manage now, this scenario will trigger. And then one last remark before we wrap up, both for Zapier and Make.com. Obviously, whenever we're using some of these custom fields in the apps, which are not enabled by default and which require some configuration first in the app itself, then you would also need to do that before turning on the scenario, right? So for example, in here, we're using a custom field called Google Drive folder link inside of our Clio Manage. We would first need to make sure that on the Clio Manage end, we have created the custom fields and it's available for all the matters for this automation to work properly. And again, it applies both to Zapier and Make.com. Just make sure that the setup of the apps themselves is also adequate to whatever you're trying to build. Or then adjust the name of it. For example, if it's called, Google Drive folder URL in your instance, then you can also do that. Click OK. Again, just save the scenario and you're good to go. I hope that you have found this video useful. If you have any questions, feel free to message me on LinkedIn. And also join our school.com community where we talk about legal tech and I post tutorials just like this around all wide variety of softwares, including Clio Manage, Lomatics, and many more on a weekly basis. Again, the link is down below or in my profile. Thank you for watching, subscribe, and like for more.